Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good day, good moment, good life, good coffee, good health, good love, good family, good body, good soul, good mind, good heart, good team, good community, good friendship, good career, good everything. I saw a video the other day and it reminds me of what I'm about to say next. Well, actually, what I'm about to say next reminded me of that. That is the discussions going on in Houston about possible renovations to the Astrodome. Have you guys heard about that? I think that looks kind of exciting. Some of the ideas they had, I see that they could preserve the dome, but they would turn it into something that's far from interesting. But they had some big ideas that looked really amazing. Unfortunately, it would take out a ton of seating, but it would turn it into basically kind of a shopping slash entertainment paradise. Did any of you see some of those conversations they've been having about what they might do with the Astrodome? Some pretty crazy stuff, I think. But now that I mentioned the Astrodome, as usual, I will say we live on the flat baseball field. We live on a flat baseball field. We don't live on a spinning ball going through space. This is space, and in this space, it is a flat baseball field. And we all live under the dome, baby. We are all under the authority of the Houston Astros. You know what I'm saying? And today, that includes the sweep that we're going to get versus these dirty birds to complete our revenge tour in Baltimore. Absolutely. Welcome in, everybody. Good to see you here. Casey Jones, Luis Martinez, Shake. Daniel, thanks for stopping in. Happy Monday to you. Mr. Page, good to see you again. Abel, thank you for your message. Yeah, you're already getting on those new emojis. There are 2 new emojis for those of you who are members. Just to let you know, you're going to see those dropped in the chat today. I've got one for Christian Skywalker, and I've got one Jesus Saves Sanchez. And Dram Bam, hello to you. Thanks for coming back. Sam Roberts, absolutely. Let's break out the freaking brooms. And Brendan. Let's see here. Yep, Jordan's coming back. And in anticipation of that, I've got on my Air Jordan shirt. I know it's not, it almost says Jordan. I was thinking about doing something funny and covering up the J with a Y just for fun whenever Jordan comes back. I might do that. But I bought this shirt while I was in Beijing. No, actually I was in Shanghai at the time with some friends. And it came with it's like a shirt shorts combo set. I've had it for like 7 years. It's just really good quality. And I put it on today because I'm wearing it in anticipation of Jordan coming back. So, anyway, when I'm not wearing my Altuve jersey, I keep it right here behind me typically for good luck. It's because Altuve has my back, you know what I'm saying? He has our back. Yes, absolutely. Like the stream. Let's get it started off right today. This is game 4. Let's try to pump it up. You know, game 1 was the viewership was pretty low. Game 2 was an improvement. Game 3 was an improvement over that. Let's make today the number 1 stream. The Astros fans have woken up as the series has gone along. Oh, I think I've got the... Oh, okay, yeah, I need to... Okay, I had it turned down. I thought I had the the desktop audio on. I did, but I had it turned all the way down, so it's okay. It's all good. It's all good. But anyway, Brendan asks, did you sleep at all? Yes, I did, actually. I'm thankful that I was able to get, I would say, probably 3 hours of sleep total. About 3 hours of sleep. Believe it or not, if I had slept the whole time, from the time I laid down to the time I got up, if I had slept the whole time, I would have gotten about 4.5 hours of sleep, actually. But 3 hours, I'm not going to complain about that. I feel like as long as I can get 3 hours, I feel okay. It's all right. But I do need to put the rest of my hot water in my thermos to keep it hot. By the way, when I was in town yesterday, I picked up my favorite coffee. This is a pour-over called Sada Tehiko coffee. This is a famous, it's becoming famous, but it's really famous in Tokyo. It started, I believe, in Tokyo. It's my favorite coffee shop in all of Japan. They don't have one around here, but their coffee has become so popular that you can buy it in the convenience stores across Japan. So I made a special trip yesterday to pick up a couple of extra things and do a couple of errands. And along the way, I picked up a few pouches of this coffee because I'm going to include it for the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. Whoever wins first place, I'm going to send you 2 of these pour-overs, 2 of these Sada Tehiko coffee pour-overs. I can pretty much guarantee that you've never had these. It's hard for me to find them around here, much less in America. I've been trying to get some things that are pretty unique. I'd love to send you some Kit Kats, some special Kit Kats from Hiroshima. I can actually go to the airport. They have some special Kit Kats at most Japanese airports. But the problem is that they would melt by the time they got to you, or before they got to you. I'd have to send them in some kind of cooler, some kind of packed cooler. And I don't know how long that would last. It'd be a little inconvenient, I think. So I'm going to send you some snacks that won't melt. How about that? Has he hit any home runs in the minors? Not recently. He's got some doubles, some singles, stolen base, stuff like that. But if you're talking about since he's been back from the injury, then no, I believe he has not. Unless he hit one with, today that I don't know about. But I don't think that he's playing another game today. Man. Wow. The difference in the quality of the coffee. Unbelievably amazing. I guess you get what you pay for. You get what you pay for, son. Don't go spending that money on the cheap stuff. Don't buy those cheap shoes. It's going to hurt your feet, your knees, and your back. And you'll pay for it later in life. Go ahead and pay for it now, so it takes care of you later. Wise words. The kind of words that I wish my dad had said but never did. 4-inning starter challenge for spaghetti. That's right. That's a good question. Let's do a poll on Arrigetti. Arrigetti. Spaghetti. Let's do 4 options. Okay. Okay, let's do 3 innings. 4 innings. 5 innings. 6 innings. Okay. Now I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt that he'll get to at least 3 innings. And if he gets through 6, I mean, I think all of us are going to be passed out. Maybe I won't be able to finish the stream if Arrigetti finishes 6 innings. And I'm not talking about Fromber style where he gives up 6 in the first and then he pitches 5 more innings. I'm not talking about that kind of style. Not that kind of style. Yeah, let's keep this engine hot. Absolutely, Elvis. You are right, sir. Yep. Just a bunch of hits, Trambound. Nothing special. Just some singles and doubles and stolen bases, Just owning the minors, nothing too special, right? He is DHing for the Hooks today. Okay, J. Paul, I didn't know I didn't know if he was playing or not. That's one thing I wasn't for sure about. I didn't think he would be, but I admit that was just a guess. Jordan not 100%. I don't think it's about being 100%, Brendan. I think it's about, because what they said the other day was they have a specific checklist and they want everything checked off before Jordan comes back and joins the Astros. So they, even if he looks great and he seems to feel great, they want to check all those boxes just to be 100% for sure. They're not rushing him back. Pretty amazing the stats they're showing on the screen right now. First 3 games on the road trip, 2 runs, 14 hits. Last 3 games, 26 runs, 33 hits. Holy freaking cow. 4 extra base hits versus 16. 33 strikeouts and 7 walks. Now 16 strikeouts and 9 walks. They've essentially become a completely different team. My God, the Astros are so much fun to watch. Astros official lineup for the day. Pena starting it off at shortstop. Batting second, Carlos Correa at third base. Altuve batting third, DH. Christian Walker batting fourth at first base. Yainer Diaz catching, batting fifth. Ramon Urias batting sixth at second base. The first pitch to Pena on the way. Hit hard into left field, and it's down for a hit on the very first pitch. It's not a homer, but it's a leadoff hit. We have 1 runner on already. Just like that, the Flash comes in with a single to left field. That brings up Carlos Correa. Boom. Here comes the first pitch to Correa. A little below the zone. Trevor Rogers is on the mound for the Dirty Birds. You've heard of Angry Birds, but do you know Dirty Birds? That would be the Orioles. Here comes a 1-0 pitch from Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers throwing it in. Threw that one in a little low and inside. Do you like it low and inside? I do. But that was a ball. 2-0. Come on, give him some juice. Give him something that he can smack. Whoa, it's crushed to left field and way out into the crowd. Man, he destroyed that ball. 2 balls and 1 strike. Trevor Rogers is a lefty. It'd be interesting to see how the Astros fare against him today. So far, so good. Here comes a 2-1 pitch to Correa. Nope. He goes over to first base with a nice easy lob to reset the pitch clock instead. Welcome in, Elbow. Go Stros indeed. Yeah, Drambam, I think so. I think he will be in the lineup Tuesday. Here comes the next pitch. Pena stealing. Correa bounces it to third. So Pena will be safe at second base, thankfully. But Correa is out at first. Kind of a fielder's choice sacrifice there by Correa. That was a disappointing smack, though, considering how he crushed the ball the first time he swung. Sam, are you talking about the change in the way the Astros are hitting the ball? You're saying that's just the O's pitching? I don't see that as the O's pitching as much as the Astros getting their crap together. Altuve is at the plate, fouls off the very first pitch. 0-1 is the count. Let me see if I can get my foot propped up here. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Altuve fouls that one off, and it goes back and out of play. 0-2. Pena on second base with one hit, one out here in the top of the first. Let's see if the Astros can get some runs to the plate in this first inning. Come on, Altuve. Pena's going for third. Here's the steal. All right, he's in there. How about that? Unfortunately, Altuve goes down swinging for out number 2. But Pena doesn't wait around for people to bring him around the bases. He decides to take him himself. The throw could have been there. It was just off. Pena gets a little lucky. Christian Walker comes to the plate. Pena on third. Is it time for his 4th home run of the series? Right now or later, we'll see. Up and outside. He's got a guy on base. That's been his MO this series. Sam, I'm not going to give the O's pitching any credit for the Astros turning it around and cranking it up, because look how bad they played against the O's last time. 93 miles an hour, and against the same pitchers. So I don't go with that argument. Walker fouls that one off. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs. Pena on third base. Let's bring him home. Come on. Let's go. Here's a pitch. 93. Fouls it off again. Yep, absolutely. Let's get that run home. Yeah, Yordan can destroy the Rockies. Can you imagine multiple home runs for Yordan in the Rockies series? Just come in and hit the ground running. Boom, boom, boom. Just start launching bombs. Oh, man. I can dream. Here comes the pitch to Walker. 93 above the zone, swing and a miss. Should have let that one go, bro. Astros get 1 hit, and Pena gets all the way around with 2 stolen bases. Well, technically the second one wasn't stolen. It turned into a fielder's choice because of the swing by Correa. But he did get a stolen base at third. Unfortunately, he was left on. That's no good. Now here's where the LOB left on base. Okay, now here's a little question for you all. How many runners were left on base in the first inning by the Astros this game? At the end of the first, Pena was on third base. My question is, how many runners were left on base in the first inning? Casey says we got 10 hits versus their best pitcher who threw mad strikes. Astros always go through rough patches. That's right. Every MLB team, ML team. Every Major League Baseball team goes through rough patches. It's just par for the course. I know that we don't like the Yankees, the New York Yankees. I don't like them at all. I don't consider them to be a rival to the Astros. I know that Yankees fans do. They think the Astros are rivals, but that's because they're always getting the bitter end of the stick. Astros have never really been bothered too much by the Yankees. But even they went to the World Series and won it after having a complete breakdown and fighting off a bunch of injuries, offense and defensive failures. And they went on to win the World Series. Several teams have done that. It's okay. It happens. First pitch from Arrigetti on the inside is a strike, 94 miles an hour, right down. I was about to say right down the middle. Right down the edge. The inside edge of the plate. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. 85 on the outside. So he paints him on the inside, then he paints him on the outside. What kind of portrait is Arrigetti working on right now? It's an Arrigetti special. It's an oil painting. Here's the pitch. He tries the curveball, but Cowser does not go for it. Here comes the next pitch. This is bounced foul. Okay, Crispy says we were 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position. Believe only one man was left on base. Okay, that's not what I asked. I didn't ask about what were we with runners in scoring position. I said how many men were left on base. That's a different question. 78 miles an hour, low and inside. We were definitely 0 for 2 with runner in scoring position. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cowser, who has fouled the ball off to stay alive. First batter for the Dirty Birds. Fouls it off again. What is a cow doing on a team of birds anyway? Is he a cowbird? Colton Cowser batting .215 for the season. That is not impressive. Another curveball. This one misses. That was a good-looking pitch. He just put it down too low. Just so you all know, there were 3 left on base in that inning. There you go. There were 3. 3 left on base by the Astros in the first inning. This is hit out into left field, and DeBond comes in, can't quite get to it. It's a single, opposite field single by Cowser. Arrigetti lost him with the 2-2. Cowser kept fouling it off, and Arrigetti couldn't get that last strike. Runner on first with no outs. Astros and the Orioles are tied 1 hit each. So basically, Pena was on base. Correa couldn't bring him in. And Correa didn't get on base. So that's 1 left on base. Here comes the first pitch to Jeremiah Jackson. That's right in there. Fastball, 94 miles an hour, strike 1. After that, Altuve came to the plate. He was not able to get on base, nor was he able to score Pena. So that's 2 left on base. Then Christian Walker came up and struck out. 3 left on base. So the Astros have left 3 on base in just 1 inning. 3 opportunities, 3 failures. Here comes the pitch. No, he goes to first. He proves me wrong. Arrigetti says, I've got the pitch comm in one ear and Ghost throws in the other ear. And if you say, here comes the pitch, I'm just going to throw it to first. Prove you wrong. 0-1 is the count to Jeremiah Jackson. A high fastball. He checks his swing. 1-1. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Ooh, right in there, but fouled off. That was a nice looking fastball. It was cruising right in. He barely got a piece of it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I saw some footage recently of Little League teams passing on the pitches from second base. That's fouled off at the plate. The count remains 1-2 to Jackson. Cowser on first base. Interesting that they don't have Holiday leading it off today. I guess he's getting a break. He's a young guy. He doesn't need a break. Here's the 1-2 pitch. A little high. 2-2. Another 2-2 count. Yeah, I will be not unhappy to see Melton out of the lineup. If we don't need Chaz, that would be also nice. This is grounded to third. Correa to second. And back to first. Double play. Nice. Correa to Urias. To Walker. Look at this. Nice. Got down there and got it. Didn't play around. That's what you call a pro DP right there. That eliminates the base runner. 2 down. That's that Astros D, baby. Next batter is Gunnar Henderson. 94-mile-per-hour fastball misses the mark. 1 ball, no strikes. Let's take a look at the poll. We got about 26 votes. Let's end the poll right there. Now that we have 2 outs. This is hit all the way out to right field. Gonna be gone. Spencer Arrigetti was looking good there for a moment. Gave up a home run to Gunnar Henderson. 1-0 Orioles. On the 1-0 count. A little bit of a blast to right field. At least the runner was eliminated prior to that hit. That would have hurt a little bit more. That was not a bad pitch, but he went down and got it. Just a good swing. In the middle of the plate, but it had some drop on it. The next batter is Ryan Mountcastle, 92 miles an hour. Right there on the outside edge for strike 1. 68 people watching right now. Thank you for being here. Make sure you like the live stream. It's very important for the channel to get those likes up. Give it a thumbs up. There's a little bitty thumbs up below the video. Just click that. 0-2 is the count against Mountcastle after that foul ball. Well, they've lost 3 in a row, so there's that, Brendan. Here's the pitch. That's rifled right through the left side. Correa can't handle it. Mountcastle's thinking about 2, but he puts on the brakes. That was smoked. Correa tried to knock it down, couldn't handle it. Man, that's difficult right there. 107.5 miles an hour off the bat. Runner on first. That's 3 hits now for the Orioles. Strike. Curveball's right in there. Samuel Basallo is at the plate. Here comes the pitch. He hits this one foul on the left side. He's down in the count, 0-2. Yeah, Crispy, that's one thing that the Astros have traditionally been that they have not been in recent times, which is crazy. They've long been a team that's patient at the plate, but they just have not been that, you know? Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Basallo. Woo, 94 above the zone, but he holds up. He doesn't go for it. He doesn't bite. Arrigetti up to 22 pitches. Here comes the next toss. This is hit hard to right field. That's going to be down for another single. Smith brings it in. Runners on first and second. That's the 4th hit. Yeah, it seems you're kind of right there right now, shrewdly. Control doesn't look too bad. But they've been hitting them. Not deceiving them at all. Ken, stylishly late. Welcome in. You missed a solo home run by Gunnar Henderson. after a double play, thankfully. But now we have 2 runners on after 2 more hits. Arrigetti has given up 4 hits this inning. He's up to 23 pitches. He's now facing Dylan Beavers, a guy who doesn't really have a full swing. He just kind of throws the bat out there. A very annoying looking swing. Here comes the first pitch, way outside and high. 94-mile-per-hour fastball. That's the first one I've seen so far outside by Arrigetti. 1-0 is the count. Here comes the toss. Right in there. 86 miles an hour on the cutter. 1-1. Checking in from San Antonio. Death before dishonor. Death before dishonor. Welcome in, sir. One of these days I'll get to visit San Antonio. I'm sorry, that was I deserve to be slapped for that one. Well, it is just before 3 a.m., so I forgive myself for that. I'll let that go. 2 balls and 1 strike to Beavers. Damn him up. There we go. Easy line drive. I thought for a second there it was going to be another single. He did that same kind of swing. He just kind of throws the bat out there. Kind of a half swing. But it didn't work this time. This line drive straight to Urias for out number 3. Arrigetti gets lucky there with just the solo homer. Could have been a lot worse if we had those hits in a different order. Actually, could have been a grand slam. 3 singles and a home run in the first inning. 4 hits for the Orioles, 1-0. Astros do up Yainer Diaz, Ramon Urias, and Mauricio Dubon. That's DeLion. That's Jesus Sanchez and Christian Skywalker. Jesus saves and Christian Skywalker. I kept telling the AI whenever I was working on this image to make the lightsaber look like a bat, a lightsaber bat. And I requested it many times, but it never actually did it. Now, I literally could take that into a program like Photoshop and correct it myself, but I refuse to pay the money for Photoshop. Photoshop only exists as a stupid subscription, and I don't use it that often. I just want to be able to buy it and continue to use it forever. I don't even need the upgrades. I don't need the latest version of Photoshop. I just need to buy a Photoshop that I can use for like 10 years, and that's okay for me. Yeah, if we take a look at Arrigetti's performance so far, 27 pitches, 19 strikes. So there is some good news. Most of his pitches have been strikes. That's good. Diaz is at the plate, takes that first slider in there for strike 1. 0-1 is the count. Leadoff bat for the Astros in the second inning. 91 in the top of the zone. Yainer didn't look ready for it. Should have been able to handle a 91-mile-per-hour fastball, but he looked like he just wasn't expecting that. Maybe he was looking for a Swiffer, because they like to throw that or the slider against him. Yeah, another one. Strike 3. Yainer didn't look like he was ready at all. A 91-mile-per-hour fastball is no problem for Yainer Diaz, but the problem there was I think he was expecting to get some sliders or sweepers, and Diaz was surprised to get fastballs. Opportunity missed. Diaz could have launched on those. Next batter is Ramon Urias. Trevor Rogers completely ignoring the scouting report on Diaz and just going after him with fastballs, and Diaz didn't adjust. That's disappointing. 1 ball, no strikes. Fouled off. The change-up. 1 ball, 1 strike to Urias. Yeah, you're right, Ken. Everything. They're going crazy with the subscription thing. This is grounded to shortstop. Gunnar Henderson fires to first. Barely gets him for out number 2. I saw a video the other day where things are really starting to get out of control. Like, I think Volkswagen has a car that has all of the equipment built in, but if you want access to the extra horsepower, you have to pay either a flat fee to unlock the power, or a subscription to enjoy the extra power. Isn't that ridiculous? Solving problems that don't exist. Dubon hits this one to right field, a fly ball, a very soft fly ball. Super short inning. 6 pitches for Trevor Rogers, 3 up and 3 down. The Astros do absolutely nothing right there. Arrigetti's going to have to come right back out on the mound after 27 pitches in the first. I hope he gets out of this inning in about 3 pitches because, man, that's no rest at all right there. You know, I know it sounds kind of funny, Ken, but I even stopped listening to all music except for the music that I create. And the reason for that is because I have total control over the lyrics. That's why. Just, you know how you've got songs bouncing around in your head and stuff like that? Whenever those types of songs go bouncing around in my head and they just come to me without me thinking about them, you know, they just come in from nowhere. I want those to be 100% positive, wholesome songs. And just because of my health, in my mindset, and the state that I want to be in, that's why I've decided to just stop I've completely stopped listening to all music. Everything that I used to listen to. Every single bit of it. Big change. You would not believe what an astronomical change in my life that's been. Or how astronomically difficult that change was. That's what I wanted to say. Brendan says the spot has not figured out Yiner does better when he's not catching. Actually, that's incorrect. I don't know where you got that from. Is that your impression? Because actually, the other day they were talking about the stats. They were actually talking about the stats, the Astros commentators, and we're talking about how much better Yiner does when he's catching. So his batting stats are actually better when he catches. So I don't think that's changed over the past few days. 93 miles an hour right in there. That's 2 strikes in a row. Arrigetti's moving really quickly right now. He looks a little determined. Let's hope his pitches are there. 30th pitch of the game coming against Alex Jackson. Jackson is back in the box after a short break. Here comes the toss. Ooh, that Swiffer went way outside. Hey, Daryl. Yes, you did. You missed a really amazing game. It was a little bit of a breakdown on behalf of Javier, but overall it was an enjoyable game. Definitely a good baseball game to be watching. Here comes a pitch. Another Swiffer. Check swing. He did not go. That was a wonderful pitch, but Jackson didn't go around far enough. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the next pitch. Right in there and fouled off. Count remains 2-2. Yeah, Ken, we can't afford that. You're right. Yeah, Arrigetti did need a longer rest, but hopefully maybe he's really warm now. Maybe that helped him out for this inning. We'll see. Maybe this inning he's really warmed up. He does really well, gets through it, and then the Astros can come out and do some hitting in the third. We'll see. Here comes the 2-2. Another Swiffer. This time comes out in the zone, and it's hit over to Correa, who fires to first base for the first out. 1 up, 1 down. Check this out. 48.1 innings pitched between Hunter Brown and Jason Alexander this month. 1.49 ERA combined. That's crazy. Rest of the Astros starters, 7.46 ERA. That's nuts. That includes Fromber, by the way. That high ERA, it lumps Fromber in there. 1 ball, no strikes to Vamil Machine. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss, 94, right above the zone, 1-1. Machine, the 8th batter in the Orioles lineup. Here comes the toss. This is a grounder straight to Pena. Should be easy. Lobs it over to first base. Kind of in the dirt there, but Walker's able to grab it. Out number 2. Pena takes his time, lobs it over there, and it barely gets to first base. You have the Doobie Brothers on the full playlist? Well, there's nothing wrong with that. There we go. Look at that. Grounder to Urias on the very first pitch to Luis Vazquez. He grounds out. 10-pitch inning. How about that? That was nice. A 10-pitch inning for Spencer Arrigetti. So maybe that's what he needed. A short Astros bat in the second, so he would come out and be warmed up. He looked like he was on a mission. He was walking around the mound and throwing those pitches with a level of authority. 10 pitches, 3 outs, no hits, 3 grounders to 3 different infielders. Correa, Pena, and Urias each getting a ground ball and each throwing it over to Walker. 3 up and 3 down. Cam Smith is due up. Still waiting for Cam to just start lighting it up again. Chas McCormick on deck and Pena in the hole. Fire in the hole, you could say. Can Cam? Cam can. Cam, crank it up, Mr. Cam Shaft. I have the Doobie Brothers on full playlist all day in my head. I just saw that in my head. That's funny. No worries, Brendan. I'm just going by with the Astros commentators, because I hear a lot of stuff that, you know, I don't share every single thing that I hear from the commentators. There are several reasons why I don't do that, but I remember them saying that Diaz actually hit the ball better when he was catching. My issue with Yiner in the lineup is position, like where he's positioned in the lineup. I like to see a batter like Caratini in between him and Walker. I don't like to see him and Walker back to back like they are today in the 4 and 5 position. Walker and then Diaz, I don't like that. First pitch to Cam is a little below the zone. Slider for ball 1. Yeah, you're right, Ken. And now everybody's talking about it. I said that several weeks ago when he didn't have a very good outing. I said he's hurting his case for the big bag, low and inside. But now all of the podcasts are talking about it. They're like, you know, he's definitely not going to get that money from Jim Crane. That's true. And he's going to have a hard time getting that full amount from anybody else. He's taking an L right now in his wallet, in his pocketbook. 3 balls and no strikes. Cam has taken 3 straight balls. Here comes the pitch from Rogers. Outside, ball 4. Look at that. 4-pitch walk to start it off. Cam Smith on base. We got some wheels. We got some wheels on base. Yeah, Ken says I have no heart problems. After last night, I might want to go get that checked. You never know. Tasmanian beast. Let's see that bat light up with power. 83 outside. That's 5 balls in a row for Rogers. Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, where you get balls all day long. That sounds really bad. Please strike that from the video. I don't know who I'm talking to. 92 right in there, fouled off. The first strike thrown this inning by Trevor Rogers. 1-1 is the count. Absolutely, Brendan. Keep it going, Spencer. And it was a good inning, Elbow. You're right. Really good, solid inning. If he could do that every inning, how amazing would that be? Yeah, I want to see that too, DeLine. I want to see him looking like he was earlier this year. I think he's got it in him. He can definitely do it. Just a matter of when. That's all. Here comes a 1-1 pitch to Chaz. Come on, Chaz. You can do this. If you can pitch, you can do this. The runner is off. Cam Smith still. Oh, it's thrown into center field. Cam had no idea where the ball was. It's likely that he wouldn't have been able to go to third anyway. The center fielder was playing really shallow, but I wish Cam had been paying attention because you never know. Look at this. Look at that. He sailed that ball. That ball was nowhere near anywhere. It was about 20 feet in the air. How do you do that? Must have just slipped out of his hand. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Chaz. Whoa. Foul ball knocked off the mask of the catcher. That was his karmic reward. The ghosts of catchers past made him get hit in the face mask and took off his face mask because he made such a terrible throw to second. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Chaz McCormick. Ken, that question is hilarious. Ken says, is Chaz married to Crane's daughter? Why he wasn't traded is beyond me. Well, you know, he happens to be here at the right time. The Astros needed some help while they were on life support, you know. That's the main reason. Outside, 2-2. Good take on that changeup. Plus, we also need that backup pitcher, you know. Chaz affords us that luxury. What would we do without his pitching arm? Here's the 2-2. Below the zone. How about that? Chaz making Trevor Rogers work a little bit. 29 pitches now on a full count. Smith at second base, no outs. Here's the pitch, the full count. Oh, that was a ball 4, man. Above the zone, and he went after it. All you had to do was let it go. That's all you had to do was let it go. But that's a strikeout instead. He gives Rogers a strikeout. The line says we're platooning center field. He has a 750 OPS just like we're platooning Cam because he has the best OPS versus left-handed hitting on the team. Rogers comes off the mound. Smith goes back to second. Looks like Rogers a little concerned about Cam stealing like Pena did earlier. And speaking of Pena, the Flash himself is at the plate right now. Here comes the toss. 91 outside, swing and a miss. Come on, Flash. Do something. Abel says, which player do you think has had the most impressive impact, defense and offense? Here's the pitch. Into right center field, it's going to be down. The Astros will tie it up. Cam Smith is around third. Cam slides in at home for some reason. I guess he just wanted to slide. Pena with the RBI single. The Flash comes through, baby. There we go. Opposite field hit. Pena is 2 for 2 today with 2 singles. 1 to the left field and 1 to right center field. Cam Smith scores easily from second base. He comes all the way in and slides. It's like, what are you doing, bro? You don't have to slide. Guess he just wanted to. South Korea at the plate with 1 out. Pena on first. Too far inside. Ball 1, 1-0. Correa crushed a ball earlier to left field out into the stands, but then he grounded out after that. Next pitch is low. Pena's taunting Rogers right now with a steal. 2 balls and no strikes. I think he's distracted him a little bit. 34 pitches now for Rogers. Yes, Chaz is a three-way player. He's added value to the extra value. Added value to the Astros organization. 92, low and inside. Woo! 3-0. 3-0 to Correa. Another cluster of balls thrown by Rogers. And these are not blue balls. That one message was jumbled. Up and in. Ball 4. Look at that. 4-pitch walk. Pena goes to second. Correa goes to first. 1 out for Jose Altuve. It's Altuve's turn to put 3 runs on the board. You know what I'm saying? 4-1 is what it's going to be here in the top of the third. The crowd is actually booing right now. Oh, yeah, it's because Altuve's coming to the plate. I was like, why are they booing? I thought for a second there, why are they booing their own pitching coach going out to the mound? Oh, yeah, that's because Altuve's coming out. He was announced. I'm such a retard. Man, look at the wall back there. It's coming apart. Somebody needs to fix that. Hire a bricklayer, man. Fix that crap. Stadium's coming apart. Camden Yards. Camden Shards is more like. Abel, I'm thinking about your question. Which player has had the most impressive impact defense and offense for the Astros this year? Earlier in the year, it was definitely Paredes. I think everybody would pretty much agree with that. Paredes was consistently the guy until he went out with the injury. And he was also solid on defense. But I'm going to have to go with Doobie on defense because he's been all over the field. What would we do without Mauricio Dubon this year? He's played basically every position except for pitcher like Chaz has. First pitch to Altuve is out of the zone for ball 1. Superman at the plate, baby. Let's see if we get, I'm sure we will, the Infinity Glovelet snap. The Altuve snap. 1-0. Pitcher steps off the mound. Altuve readjusts his gloves. Yeah, the ball rolled off his fingertip. Yeah, it happens. It happens. Here comes the pitch, Altuve. Right on the outside edge with the changeup. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yeah, Fromber, he's kind of a workhorse when it comes to pitching for a long time. Renel Blanco was also like that. I really miss Blanco. Low and inside. The changeup missing. 2 balls and 1 strike to Altuve. They're making him pitch. Good for the Astros, making him pitch. That's nice to see. Try to defend Chaz, and he does that. Yeah, he stands there and he takes the walk. He works it. He works the count. Here comes the pitch. Nope, he comes off the mound. Rogers fakes a throw, and Pena goes back to second. He's really worried. Kind of gun-shy now about these Astros. He disengages from the mound. They call a balk. Nice. Yeah. Correa and Pena get to move. Yeah, that was a third disengagement by the pitcher. And so that's a balk. Swing and a miss by Altuve. The count's 2-2. Altuve with a huge opportunity right here. If he plunks it over the fence, it doesn't matter about the balk. But now that we have both runners in scoring position, that's awesome. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Ah, come on, Altuve. Right in there on the changeup. Right in the middle of the zone, and he couldn't get the bat on it. That's a strikeout. What an opportunity missed right there. But Christian Walker comes to the plate. Now is the time for Walker to get his 4th home run of the series to complete the set. Homer in the first, homer in the second, homer in the third. Now we are here in the 4th game. A 3-run homer here is a good time for it. Come on, Skywalker. It's your turn. Here's the pitch. This is hit hard out to right field, but it's going to be not far enough. Right under it is Jackson, and that's out number 3. So, can you believe it? I can believe it because it happens. Walker flies out. The Orioles did everything there. Rogers did everything he could to help the Astros out. Letting them get hits, walking them, balking them. And then with 2 good opportunities with runners on second and third, nothing comes of it. Nothing comes of it. That was severely disappointing. Just 1 hit for the Astros. 4 left on base. That was smurfed up. Yeah, Casey, you're right. Doobie is Mr. Versatile. I wouldn't be able to choose anybody else over his defense this year, simply because not only has his defense been stellar, he's played so many different positions. So I think he would deserve to be acknowledged as the best D on the Astros this year. Yeah, at least we're tied. That's true. We came back. Yeah, instead of us scoring runs and then giving it right back, this time they scored a run and then they gave it right back. So we took it. We took it back. He definitely owes us a home run. It's okay if Walker doesn't get it now, it means he'll just get it later. He'll get it. It's okay. Yep, all we needed was a little bit of contact. You know, Altuve could have even bunted down the first baseline. Even that would have been better. That would have been something, you know. Colton Cowser is back up in just a moment to face Arrigetti. Arrigetti up to 38 pitches. I'd definitely like to have that back to line. Yes, Ken Starks, that's right. Deja vu. Astros don't take advantage again. Runners in sky. That's right. Left on base so far for the Astros, 8. 8 left on base. First pitch to Colton Cowser from Arrigetti on the way. Right in there, 93 miles an hour, strike 1. I agree. I agree, Daryl. Our pitchers need to do their job today. 87 just a little outside, barely misses. 1-1. Would have loved to have seen a squeeze play with Altuve. You know, with just 1 out, Altuve definitely could have bunted the ball there. But I guess he figured since they had just 1 out, he had an opportunity to get some contact. He just didn't make the contact. 2 balls and 1 strike with that pitch. Yeah, you're right, Elvis. We made a little deposit. You know, we didn't get the bonus this month, but we got paid. 78 miles an hour on the curveball, right in there, 2-2. Yeah, Yiner is an opposite field king. Shrewdly. He's very good at hitting opposite field, even home runs. This one is lined and a bouncer to Walker, who tosses the Arrigetti, covers the bag, gets the out, 1 away. Yeah, Abel, you said Suarez, you mean Sanchez? Sanchez has been really, really coming on in this series. He's been freaking awesome, hasn't he? He's got his second 5-hit game. Altuve doesn't have one yet. 78 miles an hour outside. He had an opportunity for a couple of those this year, but his first opportunity, Espada pulled him out in the 9th inning. He had an opportunity for it, and he brought in a pinch hitter. What kind of crap is that? This is fouled off. Jeremiah Jackson at the plate with a 1-1 count. 1 out, 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody on. Definitely, Daryl. It seems like just yesterday everyone was saying there's plenty of season left. There's plenty of season left. But now it's getting crunch time. 93 up and in. They say he did not go. Little defensive swing there, but he didn't go all the way around. 2 balls and 1 strike. It'll be postseason before we know it. It'll be Christmas before we know it. Here's the 2-1. This is hit hard into center field, but right at Chaz. He had to shield his eyes from the sun, but he puts it away. You know, a good side effect of me laying off my blood thinner medication, it seems as though my cough is going away. First pitch to Gunnar Henderson is on the way. Gunnar has a homer, a solo shot, the only run that the Orioles have on the board. 1 ball outside. 1-0. Here comes the pitch. Outside again with the fastball. 2-0. The Lion says, I forgot we scored a run right there. I didn't drink enough coffee. I know how you feel. It's 3:27 right now here. So I'm going to forget a lot of stuff, I'm sure. That was nice. 85 mile per hour cutter on that outside edge. 2-1 to Gunnar. Two outs, nobody on. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Just below the zone on the changeup. 3-1. Don't lose him now. DeLion says the other one, we ended the game with him on deck. Yep. It was close. Yeah, he almost had another opportunity. Here's the pitch. Fouled off. 94, low and inside. Full count. Absolutely, Daryl. Astros got a shot to get to the big game, the big dance, and a shot of winning it all. We are Houston strong. Indeedly doodly. This is grounded. A bouncer to Urias. He throws it to first to get the out. Henderson was barreling down the line. A little out of control, looks like, but Arrigetti gets him. 3 up and 3 down, so far so good. So far so good. Let's take a look at Arrigetti's performance thus far. 3 full innings pitched. Okay? Now, if we go back and we look at the poll, right? Let me take a look at the poll. Okay. I'm going to copy it and put it into the chat so you can see it. This is what you guys and girls voted on the poll. Whoops. It looks like I need to modify it just a little bit. Okay, I think you can read that. So, 42% of you said 5 innings. That's very positive. Oh, I'm sorry, 4 innings. I thought, okay, I see. 42% of you said 4 innings. 30% of you said 5 innings. That's the most positive. Well, that I would say that's the minimal positive outcome. But 6 innings, 23%. And only 3% of you said 3 innings. So right now, we did get to the minimal of 3 innings. So I gave him that. I figured Arrigetti probably will get at least through 3 innings today. I'll give him that. And he did me right. If he manages to go to 7, I'm going to be a little shocked. Julie went out to the splash zone where they're spraying everybody with water. Diaz is at the plate. Starts him off with a curveball. Ball 1 on the outside. You guys want to bet that he doesn't throw any heat? Oh, he does. Diaz wasn't ready for it again. 92 right down the middle of the plate. What in the world is wrong with Diaz? He's been throwing him heat down the middle and he can't hit it? Why not? Again! Are you kidding me? 92 right down the middle of the plate. Swing and a miss. That is a pitch that Diaz can crush. What is going on? 1 ball and 2 strikes to Yainer Diaz. Come on, man. This is your time, bro. There comes the 1 and 2. Finally! He throws him another fastball right down the middle, and Yainer hits it out into left field for a single. Good grief, man. It took you long enough, Yainer? How many opportunities do you need? A 92-mile-per-hour fastball right down the middle of the plate. Yainer kept missing it and missing it and missing it. That is not a difficult pitch for him to hit. I don't know why he was struggling with it, but he finally gets it. First pitch to Ramon Urias is in there for strike 1. We have our leadoff runner on with 1 out. No outs. I'm sorry, 1 runner on. Here's the pitch. This is hit hard out to right field, and it's going to sail foul. 0-2 is the count. Stop showing the splash zone. Show the game, please. They got a guy with a water hose out there, and they call it the splash zone. 93 in the bottom of the zone. Arias strikes out on 3 pitches. 1 away. Diaz on first base, and that brings up Mauricio Dubon. Yep, Sanchez is relaxing right now. Abel says, oh, my voice recognition made a mistake. Yep, gotcha. First pitch to Dubon, the changeup misses. 1 ball and no strikes. Here comes a 1-0 pitch from Trevor Rogers, his 51st of the game. Low and outside, 2-0. David says Astros fans should be happy that we have a 3-game lead in the division. We just need Myers and Jordan to return. Absolutely. We get our starting pitchers to settle down, our relievers to settle down. Jordan and Myers get back in the lineup. That's going to provide a lot of protection. That's above the zone, 3-0 to Doobie. I was watching that interview that we were talking about yesterday. I finally sat down to listen to some of it or watch some of it. 91 on the inside, strike 1, 3-1. He was taken all the way on that fastball. I got to listen to about half of it, or maybe about 30 minutes. It's about an hour an interview. Very interesting hearing about how he was playing baseball and how he came up and how he got to the U.S. and all that stuff. 92 in the top of the zone. He thought it might be a walk, but that was a strike. Another fastball. Full count to Doobie. Shrewdly says, I'll take this weak contact Spencer over fly ball, strikeout Spencer any day. Yeah, weak contact, ground ball Spencer. I'm liking ground ball Spencer. Occasional strikeout, ground ball Spencer. I like it. I like a lot. Yeah, you're right. Ken, you're absolutely right, and David's right. Not enough being mentioned on sports shows about Jake coming back. Absolutely. We need him back. Here's the pitch. That's hit hard into left field. That's going to be down for a hit. Doobie rips it into left field just like Yiner. That one had a little bit more beef on it. Tubon is happy about that. Boom. Fastball up and in. Hits it hard out into left field. We have runners on first and second with one down for Cam Smith. This is a really, speaking of somebody breaking out of a slump, this is a good opportunity for Cam Smith to get a really big hit, is it not? Crank it up, Cam. Come on. Crank it up, Cam. 83. Right in there. Strike one. Yeah, Ken, I got you. Yeah, I know you meant Jake. Jacob, yeah, but I know you meant Jake. Not Jacob Melton. I know you're talking about Jake Myers. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Cam. Low and outside, 1-1. Cam had a really good at bat, but he didn't have anything to swing at. It was a 4-pitch walk. 1-1 right now. "11 innings? Daryl, really? I hope not." Cam crushes that way up in the air, all the way out to left center field. Center fielder tracks over. Yainer Diaz tags and goes to third, but Dubon stays at first base. We have runners on the corners with 2 outs. And guess what, guys? Your favorite batter comes to the plate with runners on the corners and 2 out. 2 outs. That's Chas McCormick, baby. Chaz-tastic. He's got a strikeout so far today. Is he going to come through with the big hit? Hey, Dr. Delay is in the chat. Hello there, Dr. Delay. How was your game? How did it come out? Is it over? How did the Pirates come out? 92 in the top of the zone, fouled off by Chaz. At least he didn't miss that one. Yes, Crispy, you're right. I don't know. They have a section marked off. They call it the splash zone, and there's just one guy out there with a child's inner tube around his waist, spraying people with a regular water hose. It's kind of a bargain bin setup. That's right in there for strike 2. 0-2. Come on there, Chaz. We got runners on the corners. Another opportunity. 60 pitches now for Rogers. No balls, 2 strikes. 2 away. Come on, McCormick, as my dad would say. Chaz McCormick. Chaz rips it down the third baseline, but foul. Chazzy. Chazlicious. Chaster, the Chaz man. Utah Chaz. Chaz Chomp. Do you want that meatloaf or do you not? If you want it, say you want it. Hey, I appreciate that, Dr. D. Low and outside, ball 1. 1-2 to Chaz. Did I get the redirect set up properly? It's interesting because in my settings it said that channels that I'm subscribed to can redirect to me, so I don't know why it wasn't allowing you to redirect. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Chaz grounds it. Oh, it's picked up by the third baseman. Chaz finally rips it. Instead of striking out, and they're still showing the ridiculous nonsense out there. Hey, I got a water hose. 2 more runners left on base. How many runners left on base do we have now? 13, guys. 13 in 4 innings. 13 runners left on base in 4 innings by the Astros. 13. That's really high. Really, really high. That's roughly 30 at this pace. That's 30 runners left on base through 9 innings if we keep this pace. Well, yeah, I figure. Well, what I mean is, Dr. Delay, what I mean is channels that I'm subscribed to, my setting is that those channels can redirect to me or refer to me. So I don't know why you weren't able to do that, but I changed the settings so that everybody could redirect to me. So maybe that's what solved it. Yeah, you're right, DeLion. He did rip it. He even that one he hit foul. He ripped that one. He put the other one fair, but he just put it in the wrong spot, right? Just an unlucky placement. That's all. Thanks, Daryl. You make the game more fun to watch. I appreciate that. If I am not entertaining, then I have failed, and I must commit seppuku or harikiri. You're right, Ken. Baltimore's definitely given us the opportunities to win the game. Trevor Rogers has really been trying to help us out. He's given us pitches to hit. He's given us walks. He's given us balks. And we've got 1 run on the board with 4 hits. Arrigetti's back on the mound. He's now facing Ryan Mountcastle. Here's the first pitch. Nice sweeper right in there. Fouled off. 0-1 is the count. Yeah, maybe we can keep him in the bullpen, Brendan, as a backup pitcher. Whenever we're blowing another team out or they're blowing us out, we can bring him in. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Whoa. That was a nasty looking curve, but too far inside. 1-1. Three full games ahead of the Mariners. 7.5 ahead of the Rangers. 92 up and in, fouled off the fists. 1 ball, 2 strikes. How many people do we have watching right now? About 105. Please click that thumbs up right below the video there on the live stream. Give me the thumbs up. I'll give you the thumbs up. Thank you so much. The 1-2 pitch hit high in the air. Actually, it went off the net behind the plate. I was kind of wondering about that. Diaz pointed up like it was a fly ball, but it went back to the net. Count remains 1-2. Next toss on the way. That's hit sharply right at Correa, and he scoops it up and fires to first base. Wow. Wow. A high-level Gold Glove play right there. Pena gives him some love. Look at this. On the 1 hop, how do you catch that? How in the world do you catch that? Anybody who doubts Correa's defensive ability, take a look at that play. Holy freaking cow, man. South Korea getting it done. First pitch to Samuel Basallo is in there. Curveball, strike 1. Yeah, I'm working the night shift now, Brendan. That's right. You're talking about, oh, Gregory. I'm kind of working the night shift. I guess you could say that in a way. Fouled off 0-2 to Basallo. Ken Stark says there were basically 3 pitches when I played. Excuse me. And some people had indoor plumbing. What was it, like fastball, curveball, screwball? Or slider? Was it which one was it? You don't hear anybody say anything about a screwball anymore. Gregory, thanks for coming in. It's good to see you, though. No problems. Fouled off again. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Vasallo. 1 out, nobody on here in the bottom of the 4th. This game is tied up. 4 hits, no errors, and 1 run for both teams. We are all knotted up in every category. 62 pitches now for Arrigetti. That's the 63rd, and a swing and a miss. Or did he tap it at the... I thought that was a strikeout. Guess not. I guess he foul tipped it. Bounced out of Yiner's glove. We're going to have another 1-2 pitch. Here it comes. This is hit high in the air to left field. Dubon is underneath it. Puts it away, no problem. Out number 2. Arrigetti still doesn't have a strikeout today. I mean, I'm happy to see that he's throwing a lot of grounders. I'm more than happy to see that. As long as he keeps his pitch count down, he keeps the ball in the park, it's all good. Correa has rattlesnake reflex. Yes, he does. 88 right in there. Strike 1 to Dylan Beavers. Fred says Correa is incredible this year. He speared that ball. Yes, he did. How do you catch that, you know? 85 at the bottom of the zone, called strike 2. Nice. Beavers is smiling about that. No damn for you today, Mr. Beavers. He bounces that one foul down the first baseline. The count remains 0-2. Let's see here. Gold Glove Correa, absolutely. Fred says it's a working day for me too, but one eye on the computer screen. Thank you for being here. I know some of you are driving or working or can't be in the chat or whatever. I appreciate you listening in. A little high above the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Arrigetti up to 69 pitches with this next one. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. Fouled off. Count remains 1-2. Gregory does night shift on the weekends. Gotcha. Brendan says, how many members do you have now? Oh, members... I think I have 26. Or about 20... 25, 26, 27, somewhere in there. It's amazing because a couple of my members have gifted memberships to others yesterday and then maybe a couple of weeks ago, which is awesome. It's unbelievable, actually. I think the ones that were gifted yesterday were tier 2 memberships. That's amazing. 94 in the bottom of the zone, fouled off again. Beavers just keeps damming up the river by poking his bat out there. Absolutely, I believe we got this. Come on, Astros, let's win this game. Caesar, welcome in. Thank you for being here, coming back. Here's a pitch. Grounded foul down the first baseline. 1-2, the count remains. Arrigetti up to 73 with this next one. The count is only 1-2, but I feel like he's thrown 100 pitches to Beavers. I don't think there's any need for a mound visit unless he just wants to give him a break. But he finally gets the strikeout. Foul tip swing, if you want to call it a swing. Beavers half swing that he has. Yiner catches it, and that's the first strikeout, and out number 3 for Arrigetti Spaghetti. Arrigetti Spaghetti with a K. Do you want a little cheese on that? Maybe a little K? I'll take the K, please. Arrigetti has looked really solid overall. A little bit shaky in the first inning. Gave us a little cause for concern, didn't he? A little cause for concern, especially with the homer and the traffic. But since then, he has basically been lights out against the Dirty Birds. We go into the top of the fifth. This game is tied 1-1. Jeremy Pena comes to the plate 2 for 2 with 2 singles, 1 to left, 1 to right center. Carlos Correa on deck, and Jose Altuve. Altuve looking to do something. 2 strikeouts today. Just swinging and chopping and not making any contact. Correa doesn't have a hit yet, but he does have a walk. You know, it's pretty crazy if you look at Altuve's OPS right now. 798. I mean, Pena's is at 848, which is excellent. But considering that Altuve has had some struggles, a little bit of struggle recently, I'm surprised that his OPS is still at 798. It feels like he's just struck out way too much recently. The success he had last month really helped him out too. I will say this though, Pena, Correa, Altuve, Walker, Diaz, and almost Urias, the first 6 batters for the Astros, have basically at least a 700 OPS. Urias is at 698, so it's a little shy. Pena quickly 0-2 in the count. Takes the first pitch, swings and misses the second pitch down low. Before I can even figure out what's happening, he's down in the count. Rogers up to 65 pitches, and Pena goes down on that one. And changeup, 2 changeups in a row below the zone. Pena goes after both of them. After looking freaking awesome, he comes back and looks like old Pena, going after those terrible pitches below the zone. First pitch to Correa. He swings and fouls it off. The 82-mile-per-hour slider right in there. Yeah, you know, Arrigetti's got some pitches on him, but, you know, he's all right, I think, right now. 90 inside. 1-1 is the count to Correa with 1 out, nobody on. Can't believe the Red Sox won 12-1. This is bounce to the shortstop. He makes a terrible throw to first base, and it bounces off the ground and over the glove of the first baseman. What a ridiculously bad throw by Gunnar Henderson. Look at this. Look at it. Look how terrible this throw is. He throws it right into the grass. The second bounce goes right up over the glove of Mountcastle. Correa's on first base. There are actually some boos, and of course those boos continue with Altuve coming to the plate. 69 pitches for Rogers. Runner on first, 1 out. Now's the time for the Altuve snap. Come on, baby. He hits this one hard to left field, but that's going to be playable. Left center. Cowser is able to grab it despite the sun in his eyes. Altuve flies out on the very first pitch. He didn't strike out, but he didn't get a hit either. 0 for 3 today. His OPS drops to 796. Brendan says the Rockies look better than the Yankees lately. That's funny. Dried cheese and chili flakes. Walker at the plate. Is it time for Walker's homer? He's got a guy on base. 0 for 2 today. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when he gets his 4th homer. Here it comes. Outside and high. 2 balls and no strikes. Trevor Rogers is scared because he knows that Christian Walker is due. Absolutely, DeLion. Get that Skywalker emoticon in the chat. Boom. It's hit hard to left field. It's deep. Is it going to go all the way to the wall? Oh, right at the wall. Are you kidding me? Just a couple of feet away. Just a couple of feet away. Holy freaking cow. Just a couple of feet away from a Christian Walker homer. 2-run shot. 5 hits for the Astros. Another runner left on base. That's 15 for the Astros so far. 15 left on base in 5 innings. That's 3 left on base per inning. Imagine having a runner on base every inning and you don't bring him in. 3 batters on a row, out, out, out. This figure right here, it's the same thing. The same thing. Error for the Dirty Birds. Yes, that was an error for the Dirty Birds. So far, they don't have it listed as an error. They're calling it a hit. Can you believe that? Should have made him pay with a homer, Gregory. It was close. Chris Yankee says, I like the Dirty Birds AI pitcher. Funny. Spencer Pick's pretty... Yeah, Spencer Pick's pretty cool. Yeah, it's real gritty. Gritty and tough looking is the way I made it. But yeah, the dirty, angry looking Oriole is funny too. Gregory says, I'm in Rocky City. Yeah, Abel, you know, at least they're making contact. They're making contact that we just need to drive in the runs. Arrigetti, thankfully, is holding it down. He's holding down the fort up to 73 pitches. If he has a quick inning, he could reasonably come out for the 6th. But we'll see. Here comes the first pitch. He's facing Alex Jackson. Fouled off on the Swiffer. 0-1 is the count. Well, you know, if Arrigetti, if our pitchers are doing good, that's the day to have a little struggle, right, with the bats. Could be down 5-1 right now. That's a strike. 0-2 to Jackson. This is grounded to the left side. Pena makes a jumping throw to first base. What a beautiful play. Holy cow. Arrigetti's laughing about that and big old smile on his face about that play. What a beautiful defensive play. Look at this. Pena grabs it, jumps, throws it. Boom. Couldn't be more perfect than that. Look at Correa's laughing. He's like, man, that's awesome, bro. Gunnar Henderson, are you paying attention? That's how a real shortstop plays. One away. Emil Machine at the plate. That's a strike. 87-mile-per-hour cutter. Pena. Oh, that's Correa. Correa has a pink glove. Interesting. This is grounded again to Walker, who tosses to Arrigetti, who covers no problem. Machine goes down. They shut down the machine, baby. Turn that machine off. It's putting out way too much pollution. 2 outs. 78 pitches. 12 batters in a row retired by Arrigetti. It's because he hasn't cut the hair like Samson. That's why. Luis Vazquez at the plate. Here's the pitch. 92 right in there, strike 1. Arrigetti has started off a lot of these batters with a strike 1 right in there. 80th pitch coming up right now. 80, a little high and outside. Absolutely, we have an outstanding defense. That's undeniably the best thing about the Astros is their defense. Their fielding defense is elite. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. This is hit out into right field, and Chas McCormick comes over and gets it. No base hit for you, Mr. Vasquez. 1, 2, 3. 5 innings complete. Yes, sir. 80 pitches for that man right there, Spencer Arrigetti, looking like his top-notch self so far. 1 run, 4 hits given up in 5 innings. This game is tied up 1-1 right now. Astros do up Yainer Diaz, Ramon Urias, and Mauricio Dubon. And I feel like Yainer should be able to get another hit right here. If Trevor Rogers is back on the mound, and there's no reason to believe he shouldn't be, Yainer Diaz should be able to hit his fastball. How about, now that Yainer has put the bat on the ball and he's seen the pitches, and he knows that he's just going to keep throwing fastballs to him, what are the chances of a Yainer home run? I'd say 75%. 75% chance of a Yainer Diaz home run with an 80% chance of it being Apo Taco. There we go. Let's see here. What do we have going in the chat? Kermit Cole? Who's Kermit Cole? Gregory says R-Town, C-Town, watching H-Town. Caesar says, I was checking out other streamers' videos. Yesterday's game, Mariners versus A's, from a Mariners fan. And I have to say that, Go, you have a detailed layout. A lot of good details on your channel, and you're an excellent announcer. That's my opinion. I'm not going to disagree with that, but I will be humble and say thank you so much. I appreciate that. Honestly, if it weren't for this community, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here doing this. It just so happens that a combination of things has allowed me to be here, and all I have to say is I'm grateful and thankful for it. First pitch to Yainer is out of the zone for a ball, 1-0. Where's that homer? 89 mile per hour fastball, fouled off. Rogers has lost a few miles an hour. His fastballs are down from around 94, 92 down to 89. That's even more dangerous. Diaz can definitely put that one over the fence. Outside, 2-1. You know, the donations that I've received, I feel like I'm repeating myself and I'm saying it again and again, but I just can't express how much the support has meant. The likes, the subscriptions, the shares, the growth of the channel, and the memberships, the donations through not just the super chats, but through PayPal and the other donations. You guys have really, really made it possible for me to be here. Yainer Diaz shows the patience at the plate. He never gets the good hit to go after, and he walks. Yainer doesn't get the home run pitch, but it doesn't matter. He's on base with no outs. Ramon Urias. Rogers has lost a lot of velocity off of his fastball. He's up to 78 pitches now. First pitch to Urias on the way. 92 low and inside. That's about the fastest one I've seen this inning. But anyway, Caesar, thank you for your kind words, and to everybody else here, thank you so much. I appreciate all of the positivity here. Very much so. Here's the pitch. This is hit high in the air. Gunnar Henderson, is he going to make another error? No, he actually puts that one away. Gunnar Henderson catches fly balls better than he throws to first base. One down, Diaz on first base, and that brings up Mauricio Dubon. Doobie-doobie-doo. Caesar, I have listened to several different streamers There's one Yankees guy that is really annoying. He has hip-hop music playing the whole time. He's calling the game. It's very annoying. Doobie hits that one way, way off into left field into the stands. Are we going to get a Doobie double? Or a Doobie dinger? I think that's... I want to give a emoticon to Doobie. I came up with some ideas. Low and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike to Doobie. He deserves one. I think that's going to be my next emoji. I was only able to add 2. I thought I could add 3, but as my membership grows, I can add more and more emojis. Here comes the pitch to Doobie. This is grounded to third. Is it going to be a double play? Yeah, he goes to second and then to first. That ends the inning, unfortunately. Astros with 5 hits. Orioles with 4. Game's tied 1-1 going into the bottom of the second. I'm sorry, the bottom of the 6th. The bottom of the second. What am I talking about? The bottom of the 6th. Yeah, the game is going by kind of quick. Feels like it now. Is Jordan in the dugout? I haven't seen him, but somebody said earlier, Gregory, that he had to play with the hooks today. If that's true, then he would not be in the dugout. I don't think he would be anyway. Why would they fly him out if he played in the minors yesterday even? Why would they bother flying him all the way to Baltimore? You know what I'm saying? But I think that he has to play a game with the hooks today. One of my subscribers said that earlier. If that's correct, and I believe it probably is, then he is gearing up for a game somewhere else. Hey, old dog, welcome in. Good to see ya. Thank you so much. Welcome back in, old bit dog, an OG subscriber. I wish Yiner had been able to give him a shiner, Abel. That would have been nice. That's probably going to be my emoticon. When I get around to making one for Yiner, probably going to have a black eye. That'd be funny. Public service announcement. The Astros aren't playing the Stankies today. Yep. No Wankies. No Stankies. Mark says, how are you figuring the runners left on base? In order for us to have 15 through 5 innings, it would mean we left bases loaded every inning through 5 innings. My stat cash shows Astros have 6 left on base. But, okay, Mark, you're looking at a different stat. You're looking at stranded runners. Okay, Mark? That's stranded runners. I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at the more important stat, which is left on base. First pitch to Colton Cowser is a little outside. A rare ball 1 for the first pitch from Arrigetti. 1-0 is the count. Here comes a pitch. Grounded foul. 1-1. Yeah, I've actually explained that a few times here and there, Mark, because I feel like a lot of people aren't aware of it. They're always focused on stranded runners at the end of the inning, but that doesn't matter. What matters is how many they leave on base throughout the inning. Check swing, he doesn't go. 2-1. Absolutely, Daryl. We are in this together. This is Houston. Caesar says, you can tell you put a lot of time into the channel. Thank you. Yeah, and the funny thing is I still feel like there's a lot of stuff that I'm not able to do or I want to do. I could do. I mean, I want to be posting some clips and highlights every day. I want to be doing some videos often. I want to improve my scoreboard. I want to improve my layout. I mean, I have so many things that I need to do and want to do. But there are a couple of reasons why I can't get all of that done. But I'm doing the best I can, considering it's just me. Whoo! That was a beautiful pitch on the inside edge. Look at this. Robbed. Fastball. 93 miles an hour. Right on the edge. Should have been strike 3. Called a ball. Full count. Holy crap. Here's the pitch. Got him on this one. Spencer says, I'll just throw a curveball and get him. Strike 3. Got him on the full count. Who needs an umpire when you can just throw a curveball like that? Chris Yankees, I'm blocking you on this channel. You are obviously a spammer. I'm getting tired of the nonsense being posted in my chat, so you're gone. Enjoy your life. I wish you the best. No harm, no foul. 1 ball, no strikes to Jeremiah Jackson. That one's inside. Misses for 2-0 count. John Rooney. Oh, that's a complete shocker. He's warming up in the bullpen for the Astros. Look at that. Another beautiful catch by Correa, and he bounces it over to Walker for out number 2. That was ripped by Jackson down the line. Snatched up by Correa. Look at this backhand. Boom, baby. And he just lobs it over there. A little bouncer. Boink. That's how you do it. I've made that same exact throw many times. Just bounce it one time off the grass. Make it nice and easy for the first baseman. Gunnar Henderson is at the plate. The very first pitch. Hits it into center field. Just a little tapper for a single, and that breaks a long streak by Arrigetti. He retired like 16 in a row. And now they're making the call to the bullpen. Arrigetti up to 90 pitches. Looks like he's going to get through the 6th, but he needs just 1 out. They take a little visit to the mound, buy him some time. Fish-Eyed Fool says Yiner working a walk is as impressive as a home run. Yeah, it is. You're right about that. Maybe more impressive. Thank you, old dog. Thank you for that comment. I appreciate that. I hope so. If I'm not doing a good job, I think nobody would be here. But you said I'm doing a great job, so that's much appreciated. Yeah, Mark, thank you. Yeah, how many viewers? We have, about 128 now. I need to reload the screen so I can see the updated likes count, though. Are we over? I'd like to get over 100. Mountcastle's at the plate. That's a little off the plate for ball 1. Let's see here. 84 likes. We need 16 more to get to 100. If you have not liked the live stream, if you do so now, we can get to 100 because we're at 130 viewers. So we can do it. 80 miles an hour. The Swiffer is low and outside. Arrigetti down in the count 2-0. Runner on first with 2 outs. We don't need too much from you, Arrigetti. Just a little bit more, man. You got a little bit more in the tank. Dig down deep. You got this. Here's the pitch to Mountcastle. 87 on the outside corner. Strike 1. 2-1. Mr. Page says, thanks. Too much Yankee talk and fake Astros enthusiasm from that guy. Yeah, he was spamming a lot of keywords for some reason. He had something up his sleeve. But I got tired of it. I recognized that. It's not always easy to see that because I don't have any moderators. So I have to kind of pay attention to that. But when I start seeing a bunch of random words about various things, obviously they're up to no good there. So 2 balls and 1 strike. That was below the zone. He steals second base. The throw is not there. So Gunnar Henderson will be in at second. Runner in scoring position with 2 outs. 3 balls and 1 strike with that pitch. Arrigetti down in the count. 3-1. This might be his last batter if he walks him. Well, it's going to be his last batter either way. Whether he gets a walk, gives up a hit, or strikes him out, or gets the out, whatever. Pretty sure it'll be Arrigetti's last batter. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. He's going for 3. They call that a strike? Wow. Wow. Gunnar Henderson gets third base on a steal. Diaz decides to frame the pitch. It's low and inside on the sinker. Instead of trying to throw to third, he frames it up. And he gets the strike. It's now a full count. Wow. Here comes the pitch. It's right in there and hit out to right field. It's going to be down, and that'll score the run. 2-1 Orioles. So Diaz made the wrong decision there. Should have thrown it to third to get that out. But you know what? Hindsight and all that. 2-1. 5 hits for the Astros, 5 hits for the Orioles, and that's going to be it for Arrigetti. He doesn't get through 6. Still a good outing for Spencer. Disappointing that he couldn't get through this without that last out. We got a pitching debut coming up for the Astros. And I don't have a picture for this guy. Figures. John Rooney. Let's see here. John Rooney. Just brought on a couple of hours ago. Left-hander. All right, I am making a new image for this pitcher, John Rooney, as we speak, but it's going to take me a few moments. I don't know, for some reason I'm having a little connection issue right now. Let me reload my page. Maybe my satellite dish is adjusting. We'll see. Take a quick look. You can see my screen right now as it reloads. Mark, I see what you're saying about left on base, but you're incorrect. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that directly to say you're wrong, but LOB is not the stat that counts the runners left on base at the end of an inning. Rooney's first pitch misses wide to Samuel Basallo. One and 0 is the count. Here comes the next pitch from Rooney. Low and outside again. 2 balls and no strikes. But trust me, Mark. Instead of me trying to explain it to you, look up stranded runners versus LOB versus left on base. There is a difference. Trust me, there's a difference. That was a nice sweeper right in there for strike 1. 2 balls and 1 strike to Basallo here in the bottom of the 6th. 3 balls and 1 strike. We got a runner on first base with 2 outs. See if he can get back in it. Here comes the 3-1. Low and outside. He walked him. 5-pitch walk from our reliever, John Rooney. Brendan says he was talking about a New York underground YouTube channel play-by-play. But he was spamming. He wasn't saying anything of value. He was just spamming. Just spamming a bunch of keywords. Probably trying to find ways to plant more keywords to help out that channel. That's my guess. 1-0. Here's the pitch to Dylan Beavers. That's in there. 82-mile-per-hour sweeper. The count's 1-1. 2 runners on, 2 outs. We just need 1 out. Just need 1 out. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. A little high and outside. 2-1. Next pitch on the way. 82 right in there on the sweeper. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Come on, Mr. Rooney. Two balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. How about that? All right. Swing and a miss, low and outside. Thank goodness. John Rooney gets the strikeout. No damage done. 1 run given up by Spencer Arrigetti. Rooney loses 1 batter to a walk. Comes back with a strikeout. No further damage done. 6 hits for the Orioles. Just 5 hits for the Astros. Not a big hitting game. 2-1. The Astros are down by 1. And I've got a picture that I can change on the screen. Maybe Rooney won't be back in the game. But at least I have a portrait for him now. There we go. Alrighty then. Okay, let's try to get caught up on the chat here. Actually, I need to stretch my legs. I shouldn't be sitting down for so long. I'll be right back. I'm going to grab a drink. Go Astros! It's already 2-1 on Cam Smith. There's the next pitch. 92 above the zone. He fouls it off. Rogers is on the mound with 87 pitches, but they've got somebody going in the bullpen. Here comes the toss. 91. Taken for strike 3. Cam goes back to the dugout looking a little dejected, as he should. Chas McCormick is due up. These really low sugar electrolyte drinks are really awesome. McCormick at the plate, a strikeout and a sharp ground out. That first pitch is a strike. Well, I say a ground out. It was a fielder's choice. He hits this one high in the air over the right side. Second baseman comes over and grabs it. Out number 2. Pena comes to the plate. Nobody on, 2 outs. Come on, Flash, we need something. How about another one of those line drive homers? That'd go down nice right now. Definitely need to avenge Arrigetti. Crispy, you're right about that. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. Change up outside. Fred says, can't complain with Arrigetti's performance. Absolutely. 0-2, swing and a miss on the changeup. Pena down in the count. Here comes the toss. And taken on the outside for strike 3. Pena goes down in 3 pitches. Swinging, and then taken. Trevor Rogers winds up having a fantastic time with the Astros through 7 innings, 91 pitches. Gives up 1 run, 5 hits. Looking like a pro. I mean, granted, he's not a bad pitcher. His ERA is pretty good. Perhaps with a new pitcher in the next inning, the Astros will light it up. Good possibility of that. Old Dog says you need a default Astro avatar just for situations like this, regardless if a fielder or pitcher. Well, I don't have to put up any pictures of the fielders. I never put up any fielder pictures. I never do that. I only have batters. But the batters pictures I don't have to do. Those are automatic. They come from the MLB site. So whenever the batter changes, that the API automatically pulls that information from the MLB site. So I don't have to do that. If any of you are ever wondering why sometimes the pitch count or the runners on base or the batter picture or whatever doesn't update fast enough, it's not me. It has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with that information coming live from the MLB site. So if it's not updating on the MLB site, then it's not updating on my live stream. But as soon as they update it, it updates on my live stream. So those things have nothing to do with me. The scoreboard, the runs, the errors, and all of that information is fed in live from the MLB website. So if it's delayed, it's not my fault. But as far as your suggestion about the Astro avatar for situations like that, I don't think it's really necessary. What I should do is just pay attention to the Astros bullpen and the Astros pitchers, because I can actually look and see who they've got in the bullpen before the game starts. And if I see anybody in there that I don't have in my folder, I can add them. But it's not too big of a deal. I don't think it's that big of a deal for me to worry about it. To worry about having a stand-in avatar. Rooney's taking a few more warm-up pitches right now, getting ready to go. But I do appreciate the suggestion. Mark, with all due respect, this isn't about who's right, because what you're trying to say is right, and what I'm saying is also right, and it's silly because it sounds like we're trying to convince each other. But I'm not. I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I'm just trying to get you to see it from my angle. I wish I could show you a screenshot. Actually, I might be able to show it on the screen. I can do that. It's going to take a little trickery, but I can do it. Rooney is now ahead in the count against Alex Jackson, 0-2. As soon as we get to the end of the inning, I will show you on the screen so you can see what I'm talking about. Because I have the stat on the MLB site. This has nothing to do with, one of us is right and one of us is wrong. You're just not seeing. They're two different stats, and I'm not talking about what you're talking about. Here's the pitch. Grounded up the middle to second base, scooped up by Urias, and he fires it over to first for out number 1. But I will tell you this. I do not like splitting hairs in the chat. I definitely don't like that. I'm not going to sit here and bicker with anybody in the chat. That's silly. David, John Rooney is pitching. Here comes the pitch. Oh, nice. 91 at the top of the zone. Vimil Machine at the plate. 1 out. Nobody on here in the bottom of the 7th. Here comes the toss. This is hit into left field. Doobie's going to have to come in really hard, and he gets it on the sliding catch. How about that? Dubon runs his butt off to get over there and slide in and make that catch. Beautiful. Machine just stood there, too. What kind of a lazy running job is that? He stood there and watched it to make sure it would be fair before he started running. Doobie-dooby-doo. 2 outs. Luis Vasquez at the plate. He shows bunt, takes off, strike 1. I sure hope so, Blue Line. Take out Rogers, destroy the bullpen. I'm hoping that that's what happens. That one was in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike to Vasquez. Yeah, total opposite of yesterday's game. Yesterday, everybody scores like Oprah. You score, I score, everybody scores. Today, you get nothing. Here's the 1-1. That's hit really hard to left field. That might be gone, and it looks like it is. They watch it go. Right into the Orioles bullpen, 3-1. John Rooney gives up a home run to Vasquez. A 129 hitter. His batting average, I kid you not, is 129. His OPS is 317. He's over 2 today, but now he's 1 for 3 with a home run off of John Rooney. Can you believe that? Left center field. 80-mile-per-hour Swiffer right in the zone. Just hung it out there for him. His first big league home run. Nonsense. 3-1. 91 up and in. Ball 1 to Colton Cowser. I definitely want him to be swinging. You're right, Crispy. I want him to be swinging. You're talking about Cam Smith. 81 on the inside edge. Strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 outs to Colton Cowser. Oh, no problem, old dog. I get you. There's the 1-1 pitch. A little low. 2 balls, 1 strike. Well, Crispy, to say that Rogers isn't doing that good, we're just doing bad, that's taking a lot away from him, you know? Here's the pitch. Low and outside. You can't put all of the fault on the Astros hitting. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Colton Cowser. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Long delay by Rooney. There we go. He tried to hold up, but he went around. That's a strike 3. Second strikeout for Rooney, but he did give up a solo homer. So here we go again with the Astros giving away some extra runs. But we're only down by 2. We got 2 more innings to do something about it. Yeah, I do feel like we should have been hitting him a lot better. We've only got 5 hits against him. So, you know, got to give him credit for holding it down. Okay, let's see here. Just because, you know, I don't have to do this, but just because I want everybody to understand what I'm talking about, I'm going to make it very clear, okay? I feel like this is kind of silly, but, you know, it is what it is. Where's it at? No, come on. Freaking Windows. Okay, here it is. Can't show this to you for very long, but I want you to look over here on the right side of the screen. Right over here, okay? Right over here. You see where it says 17? Okay. Hang on a second. I can't show this screen for very long because I'll get a copyright claim. But I want you to look over here. Look on the right side of the screen. You see where it says 17? If you look at the top of the column, it says LOB. That's left on base. Astros have left 17 on base, and it breaks it down by player. Okay? Now let me explain to you what it means, because I'm cool like that. Pena has left nobody on base. It means that there was nobody on base, that Pena, either he didn't have the opportunity to move anybody around, or there were people on base and he did move them around. Correa, if you look at Correa's numbers, 1 left on base. Altuve 4, Walker 4, Diaz 0, Urias 2, Dubon 1, Smith 2, McCormick 3, total 17. 17 left on base. What it means is there was somebody on base and they didn't get moved in. If you get a hit and you get on base and there's somebody already on base and you're both still on base, that doesn't count as a left on base. But if you get out with a runner on base and you don't move him in, then that's a left on base. Altuve, let me see here. No, that's Correa. While I'm busy explaining that, Correa comes up with a hit, a single to left field. So we have a leadoff runner here in the 8th. Rico Garcia is at the plate. Let me change his name on the screen. Rico Garcia. There we go. Now we have Altuve at the plate. Here comes the first pitch to Tuve. This hit really hard to left field. No, it's gonna die. So disappointing. Correa tags up though and goes to second base. He gives Altuve the thumbs up. So Altuve doesn't get the homer. He makes a bid for it, but it just kind of died. It went too high. The wind got it and slowed it down. But it was deep enough, actually, for Correa to get to second base. Terrible throw from left field. Nice. Christian Walker. Now's a good time to get that fourth home run. One out. Correa on second base. First pitch is the ball. Here comes a 1-0 pitch from Garcia. In the bottom of the zone. Strike one. 1-1. So basically, if you have a guy on base and you don't get on base and you don't bring him in, then that's a left on base. And that's the more important stat. The stranded runners at the end of the inning are not important to me. What's important to me is how many opportunities we had to bring runners around and we didn't do it. That's more important. Here's the pitch. Line drive knocked down. Look at that. Comedy of errors there. Line drive knocked down by Henderson. Correa had to hold up, couldn't go to third. Gunnar Henderson made the throw to first base. It wasn't handled at first, so Walker is safe. Correa didn't know if he was going to be able to go or not. A rocket up the middle, just barely knocked down. 106.2 miles an hour. The throw was there in time, but couldn't be scooped up by the first baseman. Another low throw by Henderson. Once again, Gunnar unable to live up to his name. Not much of a gunner at all. Yainer Diaz at the plate, and they're going to take a little time out here to have a chit-chat on the mound. Runners on first and second with one out. Winning run at the plate. Yeah, you're right, Mr. Page. This pitcher is not a bad pitcher. He's good. He's a good pitcher. It doesn't matter who he plays for. You got great pitchers on even so-so teams or poor teams. So, gotta give credit where credit is due, you know what I'm saying? Paul, if you want to bicker about JP France's mustache, go right ahead. If somebody wants to bicker with you about it, I think that would be quite entertaining, actually. I don't know why that would be a bicker, but it might be entertaining enough for me to allow. Here's the first pitch to Diaz, low and outside, in the dirt. One ball, no strikes. Come on, Yainer, give him a shiner. Here comes the next pitch. On the outside edge. Strike one, 1-1 is the count. Oh no, Willard is back. Here comes the next pitch. Yainer hits this one to the third baseline. It's gonna be trouble. He's safe at second base. Bases are loaded. They're saying they want that checked. They're going to take a look at it, see if they want to challenge it. Walker is safe as it is right now, as it stands. The Orioles are going to see if they want to challenge it. It looks like they are going to challenge it. Important challenge coming up. Yiner grounds it to third. It was mishandled. Henderson was able to come over and grab it. Oh, it was missed by the third baseman. Not mishandled, it was missed. Can't see it on that angle. Oh, I don't know. From that angle, he's safe. They can't overturn it there. Yeah, that one right there is not clear and convincing. They're going to have to come up with a different angle to get that one called. As of right now, Walker's safe. The runner's safe, baby. Bases loaded for Ramon Urias with 1 out. Yeah, from that angle you couldn't really tell, but they had no angle that showed anything different than what it was called. Hey, look at this. They're going to pinch hit. They're bringing in Caratini, and they're going to take out Garcia. So they bring in Victor Caratini to hit against Garcia, but then the Orioles decide to change their pitcher to face Caratini, but Caratini's a switch hitter, so he will just turn around. So the Batman gets his opportunity for a third Grand Slam this year. That's right. Batman gets his opportunity. Batman gets his opportunity. How in the world is Willard in the chat? Willard got so negative. I got tired of Willard's comments. Willard, I'm sure if you're listening in, well, you might not be. Maybe you're just in the chat, but I really got tired of, on every channel and every live chat, Willard just dumps a bunch of negativity. So I'm kind of wondering how he's even in the chat. Yeah, he's definitely our Grand Slam leader this year, that's for sure. I like how everybody's ganging up on Willard. That's funny. Paul, you gonna bicker with yourself about JP's mustache? That's even more entertaining. Argue with yourself. You should pick a fight with Willard. That would be funny. Argue with Willard about JP France's mustache. I'm sure he has negative things to say about it. He has negative things to say about everything. Brendan says, what I missed. You got bases loaded with the Batman at the plate. That's what we've got, Brendan. With 1 out. New pitcher on the mound. Keegan Aiken. Keegan Aiken facing the Batman, Victor Caratini. Come on, Caratini. This is your time, baby. Grand Slam number 3? I think so. Come on. Aiken comes off the mound again. He says he can't hear the pitch comm. Boo. Boo on you for delaying the game. Boo, boo, boo. Goodness gracious. All right, Aiken is back up on the mound. Apparently he can hear through the pitch comm now. Bases are loaded for the Astros here in the top of the 8th with 1 out. First pitch to Caratini. He hits this one into shallow left field. Correa might tag. Here comes the throw. He's going to try. Here comes the throw. It's too late. We get 1 run back, 3-2. Caratini gets 1 run in with the sacrifice on the very first pitch. Mauricio Dubon due up at the plate. Come on, Doobie. He does have a nice rip for a single today. If he could come up with an opposite field single or an in the gap hit or a home run, whatever. High and outside, ball 1. A nice long single or one in the gap or a homer. Take your pick, Doobie. Low, ball 2. Yeah, absolutely. Good hustle, South Korea. Good job, Batman. Makes this a 1-run game, but we need a couple of more. Here's the pitch. Fouled off. 94 right in there. 2-1. Who has the best stash? King of France? Jealous of the stash. Here comes the next pitch. Swing and a miss. 94 up and out. 2-2 is the count. Yeah, Magnum PI has quite a stash. He does. His is thick and bushy. Here comes the 2-2. He fouls it off. 95 up and out. Here comes the 2-2. Doobie hits it hard to left field, and it's going to be right at the left fielder. He got a solid smack on it, and the left fielder didn't even have to move. What unlucky, what an unlucky result. What unluck. After all that, we get 1 run. Still got 1 run to make up just to tie the game up. We go into the bottom of the 8th. Astros with 8 hits now, but only 2 runs on the board. 7 hits for the Dirty Birds. 3 runs on the board. Jeremiah Jackson is due up. We'll see if Rooney is back in the game or someone else. I used to grow out a lot of hair, a goatee. I can get a big goatee and stash or whatever. I can pretty much grow out anything I want. A beard, goatee, mustache, whatever. But since I'm in Japan, it's really, really not liked by most Japanese women. A long, long time ago, it used to be a big thing in Japan for men to have facial hair and long beards and things like that. But in the past few decades, it's been all about clean-shaven faces. Most women can't stand to see any facial hair at all. I don't know. I don't know about Sanchez. I don't think Sanchez would have been a good fit for that pitcher because he's a lefty, Brendan. I think leaving Doobie in was the better option. He got a good hit. Just happened to be right to the left fielder. It was a good, solid hit. Looks like we're going to see Craig Kimbrell, the vulture. This is our 8th inning guy. He's pitched 42 games in the minors with a 3.0 ERA. Opponent's batting average is 146. Here's the first pitch. 93, just a little outside, ball 1. I actually do already have Craig Kimbrell's picture made. I managed to make that one in anticipation of him being up there the other day. Here comes a 1-0 pitch. That's a knuckle curve right in there. 1 ball, 1 strike to Jeremiah Jackson. Yes, the vulture is indeed on the mound. Death before dishonor, you're right, he might. Single over the head of Mauricio Dubon at second base. Speaking of Blade Rogers, he is in center field and Doobie is at second. Career batting average for opponents is 169. That's crazy. One runner on with Gunnar Henderson at the plate. They bring in a pinch runner at first base. So Jackson is out. Here's the first pitch to Gunnar. In the bottom of the zone, strike 1 on the knuckle curve. Well, yeah, Michael, that's the thing, you know, whenever they bring in a pitcher like that, the idea is that they see something, you know, and they can work with it. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. 94, way up and outside. A little bit of heat there. Runner on first here in the bottom of the 8th. 8 hits for both teams right now. 3-2, the Dirty Birds in control just for the time being. 1-1 is the count. That one's just below the zone. The changeup missing maybe by an inch. 2 balls, 1 strike. Kimbrell quickly goes over to first base. Runner is back. I'm not sure how well Spencer could throw the knuckle curve, but it's definitely a pitch that a pitcher should have. Speaking of breaking balls, that changeup was below the zone. 3-1 to Gunnar Henderson. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. Runner is going. Fouled off. Full count. You wasted all that energy for nothing, my friend. Go back to where you came from. How many likes do we have? Did we get over 100? Should be. Absolutely, 104. We're up to 131 people watching. 104 likes. Thank you so much. Runner is off again. Swing and a miss, and he gets him out. It's a double play. Johnson is saying check it. He wants to check it. But there's no way he's in there. They're like, no, dude, you're out. Look at this. Swing and a miss. Gets the strikeout on the high fastball. And then Yainer Diaz guns him down at second base. He was out by a mile. He got up and he told the dugout he wanted them to review it. The manager immediately said, no way, Jose. You're out by a mile. Double play. Ryan Mountcastle at the plate. First pitch in the top of the zone should have been a strike. That was in the top of the zone. Ball one somehow. That was right. Strike him out, throw him out. Phil Garner could definitely be on the all-stash team. I think Glenn Davis, too, the big bopper. 93, right in there. Glenn Davis had the stash as well. 1 ball, 1 strike to Mountcastle. The Vulture. Show him some trick or two. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. The knuckle curve missing low and away. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Right in there. 94 miles an hour. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Nobody on. Here's the pitch to Mountcastle. Woo! 94 miles an hour on the outside. That hit Yiner on the wrist, I think. They come out to check on him. Take a look at this. Oh! Yeah, that hit him right on the wrist. Right on the wrist. "94 miles an hour right on the wrist." And Caratini can't replace him. This is bad. If Yiner's not okay, we don't have a catcher. How crazy is that? Yeah, take a look at this. Look how bad this is. Ow. Kimbrel looking pretty upset about it. Yiner's still holding his wrist, but he's putting his gear back on. He's gonna... Dubon's asking if he needs to catch. But Yiner's gonna take some warm-up pitches and see. He says he's okay. Wow. They said that Cooper Hummel was their backup catcher before, but of course he's not there right now, so they don't have that option. I don't know if Chaz can catch, but that'd be hilarious, wouldn't it? Full count to Mountcastle. Here comes the pitch from Kimbrel. Right in there and fouled off on the inside. Yeah, we definitely don't need Yiner injured. We only got 2 catchers. Kind of surprised they didn't leave Caratini in there, considering how we don't have a backup, you know. Swing and a miss. Kimbrel gets the strikeout. How do you like that? Boom. 3 up and 3 down with a strikeout. Throw him out. That's right. And then the strikeouts. 2 strikeouts for Kimbrel. Nice. 8th inning, no damage. 8 hits for the Astros, 8 hits for the Orioles. The Dirty Birds have 3 runs. Astros with 2. Top of the 9th, it's crunch time for the Astros to get this sweep. Absolutely. Do or die indeed. Shrewdly, that's a good question if he threw the wrong pitch, but actually it did look like Diaz was looking for that ball to move in a different direction. So they were talking about, it seems like they might have gotten crossed up just a little bit. And they showed a replay actually of Kimbrel talking to Correa on the mound And he was really angry. I think he was upset with himself about that. He was blaming himself for it. Hopefully Yiner comes out all right. We might not see him in the next game or two, though, if he needs some time, because 94 miles an hour off the wrist. Ugh, that's no joke. Hopefully it's just sore for a couple of days, and that's all. Yeah, DeLion is talking about Kimbrel. Looks solid. Good location on the pitches. Good movement. Yeah, I can't complain about that outing. I was a little unsure. I mean, to be bringing Kimbrel in right there, he got the little fist bump from Joe Espada when he went back to the dugout. Whew. Cam Smith is due up, and Chas McCormick. First pitch low and outside, taken for strike one. Cam Smith still standing there watching strikes. It wasn't a great pitch to be swinging at, but still. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Below the zone. That one was a good one to take. 1 ball, 1 strike. Keegan Aiken still on the mound. He's got the dad bod going on, looks like. Here's the 1-1 pitch in the dirt, 2-1. Yeah, Kimbrel definitely did better than Dubin, that's for sure. But then again, I think I can do better than Dubin. You guys might not know this, but I can pitch very similar to Chas. Maybe even better, because I have a really nice slow pitch. 94 in the bottom of the zone. Cam takes another strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 4 straight takes. Tommy Likey. Yep, Tommy Likey indeed. Come on, Cam. Crank it up, baby. We need you. We need you to do something good here for the Stros. Here's the pitch. And he swings out. 87 below the zone. Cam finally swings the bat, and it's at a pitch below the zone. Take him in the zone. Swing at him below the zone. Swing at him outside. Swing at him inside. Swing at him behind. Doesn't matter. 1 down. Chas, it's your time, baby. Mr. McCormick. Here's the first pitch. High and outside. Ball 1. Yeah, Michael, you're right. He's taken all the pitches in the zone and swinging at the ones out of the zone. Here comes the 1-0 to Chas. 95. Man, he couldn't get a hold of it. Right in the dead center, middle of the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike. Come on, Chas. 0 for 3 today. Let's make it 1 for 4 with a big hit. Here comes the pitch. 96. Fouls it off. 1-2. That's right, Michael. Exactly what I was just saying. You and I are on the same wavelength there. Swings at trash, lets the strikes go. One-two pitch on the way. High and outside, ball 2. The count is even. Mr. Page says if they make it work with Kimbrel and De Los Santos down the stretch, that'd be wild. Yeah. You never know. Here comes the 2-2. And he goes after, he chases it low and away on the changeup. So both Cam Smith and Chas McCormick go chasing on that third pitch. 2 strikeouts for Keegan Aiken. This is the guy they should be lighting up, but he's throwing at him like a Cy Young right now. But speaking of all-stars, the Flash is at the plate. High, ball 1. We've got our top of the lineup. It's our number 1 OPS guy right here. The Flash, Jeremy Pena. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Outside, way outside. Swing and a miss on the changeup. Come on, Pena. For the first time the whole game, the crowd is actually making some noise. Here's the 1-1 pitch. On the inside, the changeup. So the changeup way out of the zone he swings at. The changeup in the zone, he lets it go. Is Pena just wanting to give them a little bit of hope so he can crush them? Let's see. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the 9th. Here's the toss. Are you kidding me? They call strike 3 on a pitch that's low and outside the zone. Off the plate. Lower than the zone, outside of the zone, called strike 3. The umpire gives the game to the Orioles with the last pitch. Astros lose 3-2. 8 hits for both teams, no errors according to the stats, even though the Orioles should have had an error or 2. The umpire gives that last strike to the Orioles. Pena goes down looking on a pitch. You know, I can't even be mad at Pena for that because that was a garbage pitch that was outside and low. There's no way that that was a strike. There was no way that was a strike. I blame Willard also, death before dishonor. You're right, absolutely. Well, there was not too much going on in that game, not much to talk about. If you look at the scoring summary, not very interesting. Orioles solo homer in the 1st, a single to right in the 6th, and another solo homer in the 7th. Those were the 3 runs scored by the Dirty Birds to avoid the sweep. Pena singled to center in the 3rd. Caratini got the sacrifice fly in the 8th, and that was all the Astros could muster. It's 2 runs. 2 runs on 8 hits is terrible production. Should have had at least 4 or 5 runs with 5 hits, but they couldn't come up with anything big, and they stranded a lot of runners. Let's actually go back to that. The Orioles left 6 runners on this game. That's very good. Very, very low number. The Astros left 20 on. Left on base, okay. Orioles 6. Astros 20. That's the difference right there. Yep. Day off. Let's actually take a look at the schedule and see what we've got coming up. Colorado starting day after tomorrow. We've got a 3-game series at home. Looks like we got a bunch of games at home. Colorado, followed by Los Angeles Angels, followed by the Stankies, the Wankies. 4 games against the Angels. How nice would it be to sweep the Rockies and the Angels back to back, and then follow it up with a Yankees sweep? But still, we've got 10 games at home before we go play Texas. Astros with a good opportunity here to put some room, some space between them and the Mariners. One of the interesting things about this schedule right now is something that we haven't seen in a long time, and that is a pitching lineup actually on the screen. Hunter Brown is going to lead us off against the Rockies. I think that he had a rocky start, didn't he, last time we played the Rockies? Valdez in Game 2. Alexander in Game 3. We got our top 3 guys starting against the Rockies. When we come back home, when we come back after that against the Angels, McCullers, Javier Arrigetti, and then back to Brown. So we'll have a 6-man rotation according to this chart. That's all for that. Let's take a look at some scores around the league. Is there anything of interest, anything of note going on right now? Check this out. The Royals are beating the Tigers 10-8. That's good. In the 9th inning. The Blue Jays are losing to the Marlins 5-3 in the 8th inning. That's also quite good. Of course, with the loss today, the Astros blow their opportunity to get one game closer. The Rangers winning 4-0 over the Guardians in the 5th. Angels and the Curbs just getting started. The A's and the Submariners just getting started. Let's wish the A's good luck against these stinkers. Right now we are what, just three games over the Mariners. 2.5 maybe. 3. But with that loss, maybe 2.5. Hopefully the Astros hold it down. We'll see. Yeah, 3 out of 4. We did take the series, though. If you look at it, we had a 7-game series, right? We had 3 at home against the Birds and 4 on the road. We were able to get 4 out of 7, so we win the series. And the Astros do get a day off, that's right. And looking forward to the Rockies series. Hopefully and that's at home. That'll be different. I think Hunter Brown will be solid. I disagreed, Crispy. I think it's different when we play at the Rockies, but when we're playing them at home, I think it's no problem. I believe that we sweep that series, and then we have good luck against the Angels, win at least 3. Yep. We got the big fella to look forward to on the day off. Jordan is going to be back. Ken, thank you so much. Thanks for being here. I'm going to get some sleep too. It's about 5:17 in the morning. Yeah, Rockies aren't in playoff contention. They're playing for face right now. Astros don't have the day off today. They have the day off tomorrow. They had a game today, Crispy. We just watched it. Texas Dave says, good show. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Good support. How many likes did we wind up with today? I'll take a quick look and see. 113 likes. That's awesome. Had a good turnout today, even though the Astros couldn't pull out the win. Brendan wants to know who's pitching for the Rockies. Let me take a quick look. I will let you know. Gordon. Tanner Gordon, Brendan. Game 1 is Tanner Gordon with an ERA of 7.11. In 44 innings, he's given up 64 hits, 27 strikeouts only, 10 walks, and 6 home runs. He gives up a lot of hits. Not a lot of big hits like homers, but he gives up a lot of hits in infield or in the park hits. Game number 2 is Chase Dollander. His ERA is 6.91. He's given up 94 hits in 82 innings. Tons of walks. 40 walks in 82 innings pitched. That's crazy. Game number 3, Antonio Senzatella. His ERA is 7.15. So basically all 3 pitchers we're facing have an ERA of around 7. He's given up a ton of walks, too. 171 hits and 112 innings pitched. Do you see that? That's crazy. Game 3, we should destroy this guy. He's 4-15. Yeah, I think we're going to have a good series against the Rockies because we're playing in Daikeen, not in Colorado. But there you go. Thank you all again for being here. Thank you so much, as usual. Thank you for all the support, all the good chats, Good comments, interaction, the donations, everything. Jordan might get 2. I'm going to say he gets 2. Brendan. I'm going to go ultra positive and say Jordan gets 2 homers. There we go. Thank you, as always, for the support, the likes, the donations. You're awesome. Go Astros. We didn't get the sweep, but we took the first 3, and we faced a good pitcher today. Just couldn't pull it out. But we get a day off. I get a day off. You guys get a day off. Let's relax. Let's enjoy ourselves. Take a break. And then be back for our home series. We're back in the ice box in a couple of days, right? Looking forward to that. That's all for now. Once again, I appreciate you. Much love to you all. Go Astros. See you in a couple of days.